Today at work, there was a older guy in my line, and he was kind of odd, and he was a veteran, so it's kind of whatever. But when it came to talking to me, it was just me and him. He was, I was checking him out. He was telling me, random shit. Because old people, if you didn't know, old people love to just talk about random shit, their heyday or something they like or whatever. And this can be nice. Like, I had a guy in my bio class who was, like, genuinely 80 one time, and he talked to me about pine cones and how they work for 10 minutes, and that guy's a legend. I love that guy. But this guy in my line at Walgreens, right? I was stuck as a cashier all day because I was filling in for somebody, and so I'm already. This is the last hour of my shift. We have about hour and 15 left of my shift. It is like 3 p.m. and I'm chilling there. I've had a long shift. It's just whatever, and this guy starts talking and he keeps talking and it's kind of just whatever, and he tells me about how he was in Vietnam. He was a fucking sniper, and I'm like, oh, that's okay, cool, thank you for your service, whatever. That's the default response, right? And he's like, oh yeah, I had one of my roommates. He was a Vietnamese guy, and I taught him English, and he taught me Vietnamese. And he like said some shit in like what I assumed to be pretty concise and clear Vietnamese. I was like, oh, nice. And he was like, yeah, yeah. You know the dogs over there, right? What do you say to that? What do you say to that, right? I didn't know what to say. I just went like, really? Because what do you do? What do you say to that? Because what am I going to do? Invalidate this guy's experience in Vietnam? He did risk his life out there, right? So it's like, am I going to tell him he's wrong? At the same time, right? Usually, whatever customers say, if they say, oh, I like this basketball player, boom, that's my favorite basketball player. Oh, I'm a fan of this car. Oh, that's my favorite car. I just, when the customers say, I just agree with whatever they say because it's easier that way. You can make them like you that way, and they won't be a dickhead if you like the same shit. That's just how it works. But I'm not going to agree that Asian people eat dogs. That's not something I'm willing to make an understanding on. So I was like, oh, wow, wow, they really? And he was like, yeah, it's pretty fucked up, isn't it? I mean, like, I can eat a lot of things, but eating dog, that's crazy. I was like, yeah, that's crazy, dude. That's, fuck, bro. That's crazy. And he was like, yeah, but, it's all right. I feel like I would have eaten dog if I was there longer. And he just walked out. And I was like, what the fuck even? Like, what the fuck even? Sometimes I feel like I struggle with talking to people. I feel like I struggle to find a normal way to talk to people because I really, especially people I don't know, when it comes to Walgreens, it's really easy. I'm at my job. So I say, how's it going? And most of the time they say, good, you, and I say good or fine or okay or all right or whatever, because who really gives a shit? Most of the time when you say, how's it going, anybody's going to say, all right, no matter how they're doing. And sometimes I'll snag people. They'll be like, well, this happened and this happened. Most of the time it's normal. It's like, oh, I'm just out here getting a birthday card for my kid, or I'm out here, doing this. Or some lady earlier today was talking to me about how her son likes to spend money on Roblox, and that's why she's getting all the gift cards. And I was like, yeah, I assumed a 54-year-old woman wasn't getting a bunch of Roblox gift cards, but you never know, Most of the time at my job, I can just wander around and do my tasks, like stock shelves, unload the back, organize shit, set up stands, clean bathroom, take out trash, whatever. And I don't have to interact with people when I do that, but I always have to interact with people when I'm at the front. And so I kind of give that customer service, how's it going, whatever, and if they ask how I'm doing, I say I'm doing all right, school just ended or whatever, But outside of that, I can really only make friends if I have something in common with them. The first thing I look for is the shirt. People wear a band shirt, they wear a television show, a reference to something, and I'm like, boom, that's what. And even if I'm not the biggest fan, or I don't know it that well or whatever, I still say, oh, cool, this, and then we can talk about something that I at least know something about. And usually that's my conversation starter. It's like, oh, I've heard about that band, what's your favorite song? Some shit like that. Because if I can figure out an interest to talk about, right, I can go on forever, I can just yap. But when it comes to, like, pure, a guy just in front of me, same place next to me, cargo shorts, blue bland shirt, and he's just chilling, not looking at his phone, he's just doing something. I've never met this guy before. I'm sorry, like, I don't know how to talk to you, you know what I mean? You could be the nicest, most normal person in the world. I don't know how to fucking talk to you. What do I even bring up? I say, like, you like sports? I'm just not that type of guy. After work today, I picked up something off Facebook Marketplace here. I was at work and my roommate, Wyatt, sent me this thing, this goated find. he found this book, which is called A Vast Pointless Gyration of Radioactive Rocks and Gas in Which You Happen to Occur. It's an A24 book based off of the Everything Everywhere All at Once movie. And that's my favorite movie of all time. Whether or not that opinion is dog shit or not, right? I will fight to the end of the earth on that movie. But this book has a lot to do with multiverses. It has a lot of unique visuals and cool shit inside of it. And it's like $50 on the internet. And this lady, I just found something in here. Hold on. Oh no, there's like a little book. There's like a little book in the book. Okay, never mind. This lady was selling it for $15 on Marketplace. So, like, that's a good find here. I got off work. I went to Five Guys. I got me a cheeseburger. Nom nom nom. Drove on down to that place in Richmond. Picked it up from this nice lady. And this nice lady comes out. She just, I'm like outside the building. I told her I got here early, no rush. I'm just looking at the building we're meeting in front of, the store or whatever. Just checking it out, the place. It's a nice day out, you know. And this lady's walking down the place with the book, right? So I know it's her because she's holding the book. I told her I'm the tall guy in the blue shirt, right? Because I have my work shirt on still underneath it. It was hot out, so I wasn't wearing my sweatshirt. And anyways, she's like, hey, and I'm like, hey. And I'm like, good movie, huh? And she's like, what? And I'm like, Everything Everywhere All at Once, the movie. And she's like, oh, yeah, good movie. And I'm like, yeah, okay, thank you, bye. And because I already paid on Venmo, and I'm like, fuck, I fucked it up again. I genuinely don't know how to, like, what am I gonna say? Like, oh, hey, that's my thing, give it to me. No, I gotta, like, there's gotta be some sort of friendly interaction. What do I say? Like, oh, beautiful weather out. Like, no, I don't want to be a boring old fucking dude. Like, I don't want to be just, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta always talk about, oh, look at the clouds, look at the sun, is it raining? Oh, how's the temperature been? Newsflash, the temperature has been shit. It's always been shit. The temperature now is 40 or 90, and it's nowhere in between anymore, okay? We had a nice, good 2 weeks. These last 2 weeks were beautiful spring weather. But now it's 90 this weekend, and I'm not sure if we're ever going down again because June's on the fucking horizon, and so is the entire collapse of the world underneath an immense heat wave. I just need to figure out how to talk to people normally, and it's not like I used to hate talking to people. During quarantine, when I was at my most emo, my least sociable, right, because college really helped me grow a social bone in my body. I was a talkative kid. I was great at making friends as a kid. I made my friends as a kid. And from elementary to middle to maybe in middle, right? Middle to high school, I kept my same close group of friends that entire damn time, didn't really budge on it at all. And it was really quarantine when I had nobody to talk to. My close group of friends, we were close friends and all that, but we didn't do much together. Like we didn't go and hang out that much together. You know, it was like a rare time when we all hung out. And so, you know, I missed some of that, but, so I didn't really have many people to talk to at the time, and so, first off, I made online friends, right, but for better or worse with some of them, but, the other side of that was I just didn't talk to many people. I was a fucking scum. I was a little scum in my bed. I was a little pond scum. I just kind of rotted, and I forgot how to talk to people, and I was anxious, and I was angsty, and whatever, you know, and then I grew a foot, or whatever. I had hair that looked like a floppy popped balloon for a good minute there. It was almost close a week ago to going back to that, but I got my hair cut and I think it's looking fresh. I got multiple compliments on it today, so shout out my gay barber Tanner. He is the GOAT, man. That guy has never fucked me up once. As quarantine was ending, I decided, damn, this shit sucks. So my freshman year had the ending chopped off, which was kind of just a vacation. The entirety of my sophomore year in high school gone. Then junior year came around and everybody had masks on. It was just kind of an odd atmosphere still. People were kind of getting back into it. So senior year came of high school and I decided, okay, I want to actually try and make some friends. I want to actually try and learn how to socialize. I want to try and like enjoy high school to any degree. And I did enjoy senior year the most of high school. And it, you know, I kind of came out of my shell. I at least learned how to talk to people. I made some new friends. A few of them I still actually talked semi-average. So then when college struck, I wasn't completely dumbfounded. College was really where I learned how to make friends on my own, because even in high school, it was kind of like I either made friends in my classes or I made friends with the friends of the friends, right? And so in college, I started making friends just on my own. I started talking to people, and even if I met them through people, I became friends with them by being my own person. And I think that was a very important step, especially because one of the people who introduced me most to people is just kind of the quality of people that he introduces me to has drastically gone downhill, and the quality of person that he chooses to be around has also drastically gone downhill. But the truth is, I still don't know how to talk to people without having a common interest. My girlfriend, right, for example, Maria, I met her at a beach party. We were at a little, like, it was between our first year of college and our second year. That summer, we were at a little beach house. I was invited by my friend, and one of our friends that were there, our friends in common, invited Maria there. And so we were just chilling out on the back deck. There was a lot of drama. I might go over this in some other video. I'm not going to bother in this one, but there was a lot of drama. So I was just chilling on the back deck. I had gotten access to the stereo. I was the guy on the aux because the friend who is usually on the aux has some of the most generic, bland, and worst music taste of all time. And honestly, Pitbull's not bad, but you hear the same Pitbull song so many times, it just starts to mush your brain a little. And so I think I remember the exact song was Doo Wop by Lauren King that was on. And Maria, who's just in a chair next to me, I hadn't talked to her because she was just minding her own fucking business. I don't know this lady, right? I'm next to her. I don't know this lady, and I'm just thinking she's enjoying the beach and the hangout and the whatever we were doing, the blunt rotation. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna fuck with her. I'll just let her be, right? Because I don't need to be a creep. And she's sitting there, and she hears Doo Wop by Lauren King, which is just an all-time classic. Lauren King is goated, and she's like, oh, who has the music? This is fucking fire. And I'm like, hey, it's me. I know. A white boy with swag and knowledge. And that was, I don't remember what else we really, we talked about the fact that I had a decent music taste for a white boy, I think it was. And that was really it. And then later that night, there was people who wanted to go to Taco Bell, and so it was me and Maria and this guy Stan, and I think our friend Lucas was driving us around Virginia Beach because he was from there or something, and he was chill. I haven't seen that guy in ages, and so he was just driving us around coasting, and it was a fucking vibe, and I got some Taco Bell. We kind of talked a little more then, too. So it was really Lauren King and Taco Bell that initially brought me and Maria together. And then over the course of, just the whole event, we got each other's Instagram probably to tag each other in pictures. We texted each other something probably about the drama that happened. And then we just kept texting the entire summer. And I didn't even think about it, really. It was just like, she was easy to talk to, right? We got along. And we kept getting along, then we just, got meet up in person once college started again, started dating, whatever. But the issue there is, right, I had something initial to talk about. There was, your music taste is good. I like Lauren King. And I was like, I like Lauren King too. What about this and this and this? This album that everybody knows is like, this is great, And then we went to Taco Bell. It's like, everybody loves Taco Bell. I can talk about the cheesy gritty all the time. So it's like, there was really not much of a risk there. I really didn't have to take a leap of faith, I think, at least with the initial steps in our relationship. So it was easy that way, and usually most of the time I kind of suck at it. So a lot of the people that I've met became friends with me first, or they were friends of a friend, right? Because I tend to botch shit or just not talk to people. There's a lot of people that I've been around recently in the last year or so who I've seen, I've been on hangouts with in multiple occasions, not one-on-one, but group hangouts, and I just don't know how to, talk to them. It's like, oh, hey, what's up? And I can match the energy if they talk to me, but I don't really know these people, and I still kind of don't, because I don't know how to talk to them, and maybe that says something about them, maybe that says something about me, I'm not sure. But for me, it seems like it's mostly just interest-based. I have this other friend named Devonte, and I met him via my friend Dakota. I was going to Louder Than Life. Or no, the first time I met them, we were at a haunted house. I'm not exactly a believer in the paranormal, but I was going with serious intentions to investigate and figure out, if the house is haunted, because my boy Dakota does believe in that stuff. And so I was like, fuck it, sounds like a good time. And Devonte was there, and we got along pretty well. Me and him were probably the most chilled people there. We were just tagging along and hanging out. And anyways, I meet this guy again, I wouldn't say maybe 8 months later. And it's like, he's going to Louder Than Life. And I heard that Devontae's going to Louder Than Life. I was like, okay, cool. I've met this guy before. And so anyways, I show up when we're about to go down. It's the day before the first day. And so we woke up at 4 a.m. or 3 or 4 a.m. or some shit to start the drive, the 9-hour drive out to Louisville. So I knock on the door and I walk in. And Dakota is upstairs. He didn't sleep apparently all night. He was just doom scrolling or something before this nice long drive. But Devontae's just on the couch and he's like, oh, what's up, dude? I'm like, hey, what's up? And at first I'm like, fuck, I'm in this room with this guy and I don't know what to talk to him about, and it's like awkward and shit. But there was the obvious thing of we're both going to a rock and metal festival together. So I asked him, what bands do you want to see? What bands are you excited about? What are your favorites? And from there on, we just kept talking. And then, like, the whole car ride down, we were just talking about stupid shit the entire time. We genuinely, for like 4 hours straight, we were talking about superpowers that were like stupid. So it was like, what if somebody has super speed but they can only use it with their eyes closed, you know? Or what if like somebody can talk to fish like Aquaman but they can only flirt with them or something, you know? Some just straight stupid shit like that. And we talked about it for 4 hours, and it was like, this is the same day I really, like, the second time I ever really talked to this guy, you know? And we're good friends now because I think we have a good comedy wavelength between us, you know? All three of us, I think we have like a good appreciation of each other's humor. I feel like in that situation, I kind of skipped the awkward beginning phase. You know, that first time we were just both chilling, didn't need to say much because we were both chilling. That second time we met, we were just instantly, we were on that line of humor. We understood each other. We were like, there, we got it. What's with people just saying crazy racist shit when they first meet somebody? Like, I'm just thinking again about the old guy at my till. I'm thinking, why would he just say, you know, they eat dogs in Vietnam, right? It's like even if they do, right? Like, let's keep it a buck. Even if they do that, because during a war, people do crazy shit during a war. So if somebody, I don't care if they're Asian American or whatever, like, if you eat a dog in the middle of warfare, like, that's one of the more understandable times to eat a dog, you know what I mean? Because me personally, I would never want to eat a dog. But if you're fucking starving and you're in a battlefield and your rations have run out and you got a fucking dog and you got a dog and your boy Henry, I don't know why I chose that name, but you get the point. Like, I'm sorry, dude, I'm not gonna eat my fellow human. I am gonna have to eat the dog. So it's like, even if people do that, it's like, you know, they do that over there. You know, it's like, obviously, like, oh, the Vietnamese people do that, and it's just like, why do you think I give a fuck about that? Like this is the only time I've ever seen this man in my life, and he's willing to tell me this shit. It's like, do you have zero social awareness that, you know? And I'm really lucky there was nobody else behind him in line, you know, that was waiting, because if they heard that and they, you know, because I wasn't gonna start talking to this guy like, no, they don't, blah, blah, blah. Because, like, let's be real, to this guy who's, like, probably 80 and a Vietnam vet, I'm just some fucking SJW. He doesn't give a shit what I have to say about anything, right? To be fair, I've never been to Vietnam, so, you know, what do I know? Maybe they do have, I'm not going to say, I was about to say, maybe they have dog stir fry there or some shit. I don't really, I've never been, but I guarantee you, right, it's not as bad as this guy probably thinks it is. Is it really your first instinct to just tell somebody something out of all of the fun facts about the war that you could have given me? You know they eat dogs over there? Like, it's just a racist dog whistle. It's like how Trump said that the fucking, whoa, what is it? Like the Cubans or somebody was eating all the dogs and the cats or some shit. It's just so, like, it's just such a basic racist thing. Like, oh, blank yellow or brown person is eating our pets. Like, it just doesn't make, it doesn't make for good conversation. It makes for people to worry about me. I've had this happen before. There was a guy. This is, I think, one of the only times I've actually been yelled at, like, full force yelled at. And it wasn't even, like, my fault. The guy was, like, actually skitzing out. He was probably drunk off, whatever. But anyways, this was, like, a year and a half ago. No, this was almost 2 years ago now. Because this was, like, the 4th of July. I was working the 4th of July. So 2 years ago. So I'm, like, a freshie at my job by this point, right? I've been there for maybe a month or two. I'm sitting there. And there's a line, it's pretty busy, it's the 4th of July, people are getting their drinks, they're getting their alcohol, they're getting coal to grill, they're getting their hot dogs, they're getting their little fucking slider cheeses, they're getting, you know, their buns, they're whatever, they're getting their little party poppers. We don't sell fireworks, they're getting their propanes redone, you know, so whatever the case. And this guy, he just has, he comes in and he immediately, I'm talking to a customer or whatever, and he just goes, "Where's the coal?" First off, a little rude off the bat, but I say it's on aisle, whatever, you know, forget. And it's like, who cares, right? He just needs the coal. We'll get him the coal. No issue. And he's like, "Thanks, buddy." So it's like, okay, cool. I got him the coal. I know, I told him where it is. And so he goes to get the coal. He's in line. He's not doing anything bad as far as I'm aware. And so he gets to me. And it starts normal at first. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna grill some burgers. I'm like, hell yeah, dude, let's grill some burger. You know, obviously I'm a local. You know, I don't say hell yeah. I'm like, oh, cool, nice, man. Yeah, I love burgers. You know, just agree with the customer, make it easy conversation. And I do truly love burgers, grilled burgers. Ooh, American specialty. And then he starts talking about some like I'll play this conversation out for you here, right? So you can kind of get the vibe of what it was like. So first off, he goes like, "We're about to grill up some burgers." And by the way, he talks a lot more drunk than I am. But anyways, I'm like, "Oh, nice burgers, yeah, yeah." He's like, "And if my wife asks, I wasn't here." And I'm like, "All right, man, you weren't here. You weren't here." And he's like, "She always thinks I'm at the strip club." And I'm like, "You're not at the strip club. You're at Walgreens." I think I actually did say that. Like, I was like, "Nope, because you're here. Because you're here at the world's most fine drugstore." Because I was new to the job, right? I saw that youthful vigor in me. But, and he's like, "She says that I'm always at the strip club, and I'm not at the strip club." And I'm like, I'm like, that's right, buddy. Yep. And I'm just like, at this point now people are looking, because this guy's actually worked up. He's actually yelling at me, right? And he's not yelling at me because I did anything wrong. I'm like trying to scan this shit, and I'm trying to tell him like, "Hey, the pin pad, you want to put in a number? Do you want me to?" And he's like, and he's like, he starts talking about some bullshit. Like, he's like, never marry. I'm sitting there. At this point in my life, I had just started talking to Maria, right? So I don't know if I fully had a crush on her yet, or if it was, just friends or whatever, but I still intended to marry one day, right? And so I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm not there yet, man. I'm not looking at marriage right now." And he was like, "I've had 3 wives, and every single one of them divorced me. Never marry because they're all selfish." And I'm sitting there, and I can't even bring myself to. I'm new, and I can't even bring myself to agree with him. I'm just like, sorry to hear that, dude. Yeah, shit. And everybody's in the line, both lines, because I'm at the small register next to the big register. Somebody's at the big register, and they're looking over at me like, "Dude, do you need help?" And there's the line of people and the line of people, and they're both looking at me like, "What's this guy on about, bro? What did you say?" And I'm sitting here sweating like, "I said nothing. I'm not trying to put it, And he's like, "What? You can't trust women. You can't trust any of them, so never marry." And in my head, I was about to say, "Yeah, but you should just get with a guy then." But I didn't. I thought, like, I have these clever thoughts sometimes, and sometimes I just blurt them out. And that was one of the moments that, luckily, I didn't say, "Yeah, just date a dude," because if I said that, the guy probably would have gone fucking ballistic, right? He was probably 50, 60. He was drunk off his ass. His beard was very, whatever. He had spittle in his beard. He was I'm honestly scared that man had been driving around not only the building, but down the streets in the condition that he was in. And so at this point, my shift manager comes up behind me, because he's there, this guy yelling from across the store, and he's like, "Jack, you good? You need help?" And I'm like, I think I'm all right. I think I'm like, I don't know. And this guy, and the manager's like, "You all right?" And he talks to the customer. He's like, "You doing all right?" And the customer's like, yeah, I'm just telling him about how, like, they always think about the goddamn strip club, and I'm not at the strip club, and she always says I'm at the strip club, and I'm not. I'm getting coal to make burgers." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, by the way, it's asking for your PIN, by the way, just so you know." And he's like, "Yeah, let me do that." And he goes to do the PIN, and he's like, "But I'm not at the strip club." And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Oh my fucking god, like, just please." And everybody, like, there's people in line that are like stifling laughs, people in line that are like having their hand over their mouth in shock. And I'm just like, and so whatever, he finally gets done with it, and he's like, "All right, don't marry." And he just like stumbles his drunken ass way out, and so, after he does, the people in line who come up behind me, I'm like, "Hey," like, I immediately snap back into the customer service from whatever the fuck that was, right? I'm immediately like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they're like, you just handled that really well. And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know what I can, like, I don't know what I meant to say to him other than just be friendly and wait for him to leave, because it's like, whatever, because the truth of the matter, and I already talked about this, is nothing that people say to me at my job I take personally. You could call me a fuckface, a skinny little gay bitch, and it's like, yeah, probably. I mean, you gotta take it into perspective here. I work at Walgreens. If I'm talking to you, chances are I'm the cashier at the minute, right? And you're a customer at Walgreens. we're both suckers in this scenario. Nothing you say to me will make me feel worse for you than I already feel for myself. I'm getting paid $14 an hour to just suffer through your shit, and you're paying extra more at my store than you would at Target or Walmart or Amazon. So we're both losing at the end of the day. It doesn't really matter to me. I can hear Wyatt downstairs. I'm gonna go talk to him. I'm gonna take a rant break real quick. After eating 8 tacos and reading a bit of a book and talking to my roommate, I think I've come to a decent consensus, which is a lot of people who talk don't need to, because there's a lot of introverts who have interesting things they could say and keep it to themselves. And so it's people like the guys who will go up to you and talk about how Asian people eat dogs, who are like people who want to speak but maybe don't need to, you know what I mean? And so I think this is a whole conversation, a whole separate thing, which is extroverts versus introverts. I think that introverts, people see introvertism as lesser than. And personally, I think that it's okay to not share everything. I'm certainly more extroverted than I was. I'd say overall I'm kind of middle ground, to be honest. But, you know, I'm that level of... This is probably a pretty common thing, but I'm relatively introverted in general. But when it comes to my friends, I can just yap nonstop. And I'm quite extroverted around my friends or people I feel, you know, safe or close to or whatever. I feel like extroverts are rewarded for speaking even when it's stupid, when introverts are ashamed for speaking even if they know they don't have anything important to add. You know what I mean? And so they're shamed for not wasting breath, whereas extroverts are praised because even though they're saying stupid shit half the time, they are saying something. And I feel like just because there's space doesn't mean it needs to be filled. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot to gain from just taking a second and shutting the fuck up sometimes. Genuinely. Not a shot at extroverts as a whole or whoever. I mean, like, anybody. You know, sometimes I find that I'm talking and it's ironic because that's what this YouTube channel has developed into. But I'm talking and I just have to, like, stop and just take a breather, take a break, take a beat, and not say shit. And sometimes that helps me either clarify what I'm saying, it saves me from saying something stupid, or it gives me time to collect myself and seem smarter because I'm not running my fucking mouth. And I feel like everybody knows at least one person who runs their mouth all the time. I certainly have mine in mind, and he just doesn't shut the fuck up ever about anything. He says the same shit over and over. He says stupid shit over and over. And he genuinely has, like, such a, I don't know, a negative brain cell count from it. I genuinely think that he sacrifices all of his, I wouldn't even say that his skill points go into, like, charisma, because they just go into pure extrovertism. He can just talk and whatever forever, but I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people like that, you know, who have this social ability, but not the social skill. You know what I mean? They can talk, they can relate to whoever, they can do whatever. They don't have any worries about it, but they don't have the smoothness it requires, and that's why you have, you know, fucking idiots coming up to you talking about the cats and the dogs and the immigrants that are eating them and shit like that. Quite honestly, if anybody's eating cats and dogs, I'm not worried about the fucking immigrants. I'm worried about the goddamn hippie redneck meth heads, man. It's just another matter of quantity versus quality. You can put out 100 things, but if none of them are fucking... Take the new Drake albums, for example. This guy hyped the fuck out of Iceman, dropped 3 albums on the same day, which doesn't even make sense to me because a lot of people are only going to listen to 1, maybe 2 or something, you know, or only a few songs. So I feel like spreading out those albums overall would give you better numbers. But for Drake, it's more of a PR thing, you know, and I think that he failed on that too because all 3 of those albums are fucking, they're not good. I spent like an hour and a, I spent like 2.5 hours listening to them. There's only a handful of songs out of all 3 of them that I'd even fucking consider listening to again. I mean, it's genuinely, the guy sounds like he's given up, you know? And so that's a great example of quality under quantity. You can put out a million things. Like, I'm putting out a million fucking talking about random shit YouTube videos. Are any of them that good? I don't know, man, you know, but that's not the point, I guess, of this channel. I'm not Drake. I also wasn't a child star in the hit show Degrassi New Generation. I also didn't flirt with Millie Bobby Brown when she was a kid. Everybody wants to pin it on the whole Kendrick beef shit from like 2 whole years ago, but it's like, at this point, right, I think that's just over because Kendrick obviously won. Anybody who says he didn't is a fucking loser, you know? But at the same time, it's just like, I think Drake is just washed. I think he's past his peak in his career. I think it's just downhill from here, really. Unfortunately, that's what it seems like. And Kendrick might have peaked too. I can't lie. Like, his most recent album was not as good as the others. It had that one hit with the thing everybody loved. Oh, mustard, haha. That song I thought was good, Turn the TV Off. There were some other ones on there I thought were decent, like maybe 3 songs I would listen to again. It's always possible for artists. I mean, they've been around for a while now. Kendrick and Drake, they've been doing it for, 20 years or something? I mean, they're becoming old heads. So I feel like, at a certain point, you amass a quantity. Regardless of how quality it is, you always amass a quantity if you're consistent. And so the percentage, and not every artist has some shitters, every artist has some well, not every artist has some bangers, every artist has some shitters though, and so, I mean, try and find one artist that doesn't have a single boring song, you know what I mean? It's just not gonna happen, and that's part of it, try and find one painter who doesn't have one uninspired painting. Looking at quality over quantity is something I think we need to do more as people. It's another thing I could loop into the whole AI conversation. Just because we can make shit quicker and make more of it doesn't mean that it's any good. You know what I mean? Like, it's all none of it. Even if we have 1,000 AI slops, doesn't equal one human-made art piece. Even if it's a fucking 5-year-old's scribble, it doesn't. But that's just kind of a societal thing. We want more. We're kind of trained to want more. We want more money. We want a bigger house. We want a cooler car. We want to have more things than everybody around us. We just want more, and I think that's part of the American dream nowadays, is to have more than other people. It's not to have what we want or what fulfills us, it's to have more than other people. This loops back into the main idea of conversation. Those who can kind of rule over conversations, either by saying complete bullshit or just by being the one to constantly start conversations, they own the conversations, right? The conversations are theirs. They're better at conversations. They know more people. They have more than the other people. It just loops back into that. But at the end of the day, if you got 100 friends who are dickheads and rapists, and you've got one friend who's a good friend, I'd take that one good friend over everybody else every day of the week, and that's not how everybody operates. A lot of people would rather have 100 friends that are just fucking frat guys than one, good old hometown bestie, and I mean, that's just how it is. And I know it's rich coming from me, because it's sort of loserish to put your thoughts out on the internet pretty consistently like I have been, but at the same time, right, when you're sitting on your stacks that you got, that I won't have in the future, right, and you're looking down at humble little me, who maybe, if he's lucky, got a published book by this point in his career, you can laugh at me all you want, but I won't be fucking hearing you, because I'll have my headphones in and it'll be playing anything but the new Drake albums.